Hello everyone and welcome to Barca News. It's January 24th, 2023 and the Barcelona Femeni have been disqualified from the Copa de la Reina for fielding an ineligible player. Also, the club have began working on signing Vitor Roque and Barcelona have began to accept the fact that Sergio Busquets will be leaving at the end of the season. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. My name is Mo and we'll begin with the news that preparations are underway as Barcelona are scheduled to face off against Real Sociedad at the Spotify Camp Nou in the quarterfinals of the Copa del Rey tomorrow, Wednesday, January the 25th. Now this will be a very difficult match for Barcelona as Real Sociedad are currently playing some of the best football in the Spanish league, and that's evident in all of the results that they're having as they're currently sitting at the top of the league in third place. Now, Barcelona have announced a list of players that will be participating in tomorrow's match, and these players are Marc Ter Stegen, Héctor Bellerín, Ronald Araujo, Sergio Busquets, Ousmane Dembélé, Pedri, Robert Lewandowski, Ansu Fati, Ferran Torres, Iñaki Peña, Andreas Christensen, Marcos Alonso, Jordi Alba, Frank Kessie, Sergi Roberto, Frankie de Jong, Rafinha, Jules Koundé, Eric Garcia, Balde, Gavi, Pablo Torre, and Arnau Tenas. Now in the pre-match press conference, Xavi did not want to reveal what players will be starting tomorrow and what formation he will be using. However, there are some reports stating that we could expect to see a 4-4-2 formation in tomorrow's match. The same formation that Xavi used against Real Madrid in the Super Cup final. Now, I do like this formation because not only was Barcelona able to defeat Real Madrid with this formation, however, I also liked it because how Barcelona were able to win, where they completely dominated that entire match and they were able to submit Real Madrid, who had no response to what Barcelona were proposing. Now, this will be a good formation for tomorrow's match given how Real Sociedad are currently playing, where they're not a team who likes to defend with a low block and bet on counterattacks. It's the total opposite. They're a team who like to have the possession of the ball, who like to attack, who like to attack the space and create a lot of chances in danger. So it will be good to create a numerical advantage in the midfield in order to control the tempo of the match. Now, there are some reports also stating that Xavi could elect to choose Marc Ter Stegen as the goalkeeper since this will be a difficult match for Barcelona and he wants to have a little bit more security in the goal. Now, in my opinion, this will be a mistake that Xavi uses Marc Ter Stegen because, yes, he is one of the best, if not the best goalkeeper right now in the world. But after all, the club has entrusted Iñaki Peña with being the goalkeeper of the Copa del Rey. So that's how it should be. Iñaki Peña should be the goalkeeper for the entire tournament, not for half of it. And also, Barcelona did announce that they have finalized a negotiation with Iñaki Peña to extend his contract till 2026 because they consider him the goalkeeper of the future. So if the club trusts Iñaki Peña to be the goalkeeper of the future, why can't they trust him with tomorrow's match? Now finally, if Xavi does elect to have Marc Ter Stegen as the goalkeeper, this will be a huge blow to the confidence of Iñaki Peña because in doing this, Xavi will be telling Iñaki Peña that he's not good enough to face off against big opponents and to be the goalkeeper in big matches. But as always, I would love to hear from you, so drop a comment down below letting me know who do you think should be the goalkeeper tomorrow, Marc Ter Stegen or Iñaki Peña. Now since Barcelona will be facing off against Real Sociedad, I want to mention quickly that it seems that Arsenal are the favorites to sign Real Sociedad's midfielder Martín Zubimendi. Now I've mentioned Zubimendi many times before because he is Xavi's #1 option to replace Sergio Busquets. However, the club had informed Xavi that this signing will most likely not happen because Martín Zubimendi has a €60 million release clause, which Barcelona cannot pay given the difficult financial situation that the club are going through. Well, it seems that Mikel Arteta's Arsenal are very keen on signing Zubimendi, and it seems that Zubimendi is very excited for the prospects of playing for the Gunners. So it looks like he could be signing for them in the summer. Because after all, Zubimendi has always said that if he can't play at Real Sociedad, then he wants to play for another club that's outside La Liga because he doesn't want to play against Real Sociedad as a player because he considers Real Sociedad as his childhood club. Now, Subimendi did have the chance to sign for Arsenal during this winter transfer market as the Gunners offered to pay his release clause, but Subimendi, once again showing the immense respect that he has for his current club, decided to wait until the summer because he didn't want to leave Real Sociedad hanging midway through the season. Now, while we're still on a topic of the Spanish Cup, it's been reported today that the Barcelona Femeni have been disqualified from the Copa del Reina, which is the equivalent of the Copa del Rey, for fielding an ineligible player. Now, as reported in a previous video, Barcelona fielded Geisa Ferreira in the match against Osasuna, where Barcelona won 0-9. And after the match ended, Osasuna submitted an official complaint to the Royal Spanish Football Federation, asking that the Barcelona Femeni be disqualified because Geisa Ferreira should have not been allowed to play during that match. Now, what happened is that Geisa Ferreira was playing for Real Madrid last season, and during a Copa de la Reina match, she received a red card. And of course, when you receive a red card per the rules, you need to serve a one-match suspension. However, Geisa Ferreira did not serve that one-match suspension because in that match where she received a red card, that was the same exact match that Real Madrid were disqualified out of Copa de la Reina. Now, Barcelona signed Geisa Ferreira this past summer, and then when they checked the Royal Spanish Football Federation records before the match against Osasuna, there were no records saying that Geisa Ferreira need to be serving a one-match ban. So Barcelona decided to field her in the match where she scored a goal. And today, the Royal Spanish Football Federation have ruled that the Barcelona Femeni should be disqualified and kicked out of the competition because they fielded Geisa Ferreira, who was ineligible to play and should have been serving her one-match suspension, even though she was playing for a different team last season and even though she got suspended during last season as well. Now, alongside the disqualification, the Barcelona also received a 1,001 euro fine, and they have 10 days to appeal. And of course, the club have announced that they will be appealing the Royal Spanish Football Federation's decision. Now, in my opinion, the rule is very clear that if you field an ineligible player, you get disqualified. And I think that Barcelona committed a gross mistake in having Geisa Ferreira play in that match. Because yes, she did receive a red card while she was playing for a different team. And yes, this did happen last season. And yes, there were no records of it in the Royal Spanish Football Federation. But nonetheless, the club should have been keeping track of this. They should have known that she received a red card last season. And they should have known this before they signed her and before the match as well. And they should have ran the risk of having her play during the match against Osasuna. But nonetheless, even though I think it's Barcelona's fault for fielding Ferreira Geisa, I think that this is that the punishment does not fit the crime, and this is a very excessive punishment, especially when you take into consideration that the Barcelona Femeni are favorite to win this cup, especially because they are so much superior to all the teams in the Spanish league and to most of the teams in the entire world. Now, I say that this is an excessive punishment because the reason this rule exists is so teams don't have an advantage over their opponent. And when you take into consideration that Barcelona defeated Osasuna 0-9, I don't think that they gained any kind of advantage of having Geisa Ferreira play. Even though she did score a goal with or without Geisa Ferreira, the Barcelona Femeni would have still completely demolished Osasuna, and I don't think that Barcelona gained any advantage from fielding her. So therefore, I think that the Barcelona should have received a bigger economic sanction, or perhaps had them played this match again without Geisa Ferreira. But I think completely disqualifying the team is unfair, because as I said, there was no advantage gained whatsoever, and the Barcelona Femeni would have demolished Osasuna regardless of the presence of Geisa Ferreira or not. But of course, I would love to hear from you, so drop a comment down below letting me know whether you think this punishment is fair or whether you think that the Royal Spanish Federation went a little bit too far in punishing Barcelona. Now on to the news that it's been revealed that Matteo Alemany and Jordi Cruyff had an extensive meeting with Deco, the former Barcelona player who's now an agent for several football stars such as Rafinha and other Brazilian players as well. Now during this meeting, the club and Deco discussed extensively all the new prospects of Brazilian players, because Deco is an expert on the Brazilian market, so Barcelona can know what players they should sign in the future. Now it seems during this meeting, Matteo Alemany and Jordi Cruyff made it very clear to Deco that Barcelona want to sign the Brazilian prospect Vitor Roque. Now I've talked about Vitor Roque in previous videos. He's a 17-year-old center forward who currently plays for Atlético Paranaense, and there are several reports saying that he is the most promising talent coming out of Brazil, even more promising than Endrick, who will be joining Real Madrid. Now, during this meeting, Alemany, Cruyff, and Deco discussed how Barcelona can sign Vitor Roque and what they need to do to make the signing happen. And it seems that Vitor Roque does have a 60 million euro release clause, but Barcelona think that for 25 million euros, they can sign him in the summer. Now, after this meeting, Barcelona and Deco are now working hard to try to make the signing happen. And in my personal opinion, I would love to see Vitor Roque at the club, because I have read several reports saying that he has a lot of promise and that he has a lot of magic in his boots. And also, since Barcelona will not be able to sign Moukoko since he has decided to extend his contract with Dortmund, I think that Vitor Roque would be the perfect player to come and learn from the best striker in the world, Robert Lewandowski. And then when the time comes, that Vitor Roque could become Barcelona's starting center forward. That's even more important than Barcelona sign Vitor Roque, because since Real Madrid have signed Endrick, who's also another player with a lot of promise, it's important that Barcelona also sign their own center forward so they can continue competing with Real Madrid. Because if Real Madrid keep making these signings, then Barcelona are gonna be falling behind, and it will be a problem competing with Los Blancos. I want to news that Barcelona are now accepting that it looks like Sergio Busquets will be leaving at the end of the season. Now, Xavi would like Busquets to extend his contract for one more season, and the player has said that he will make an official announcement in February in regards to his future and whether he will be staying in Barcelona or he will be leaving at the end of the season. And it's expected that Sergio Busquets wants to join Inter Miami at the MLS. Now, it's reported that the negotiations between Barcelona and Sergio Busquets have cooled off for his contract renewal, because the club are starting to get hints and signals that Sergio Busquets doesn't want to extend his contract and wants to leave at the end of the season. And there are also reports saying that Busquets is still negotiating with Inter Miami. And as I mentioned in previous videos, it seems like Busquets has also looked into homes in Miami where he could live, and even schools where his kids could attend. So it's starting to look more and more likely that Sergio Busquets will be leaving at the end of the season. Now, of course, everything could change and Xavi could end up convincing Busquets at the final day. But as of now and as of today, it's starting to look more and more likely that Busquets will be leaving at the end of this season. Now, we will end today's video with the news that Matteo Alemany has begun negotiations with AC Milan in order to offload Serginho Dest. Now, Dest is currently at the Serie A club on loan, and he has an option to buy in his contract worth 20 million euros. And it seems that Serginho Dest wants to stay at AC Milan, and the AC Milan also want to keep the American fullback. So Matteo Alemany has begun negotiation with AC Milan for the offloading of the player. Now, since Serginho Dest hasn't been having a good performance during this season, it seems that AC Milan want a discount on that 20 million euro figure. And it's reported that Barcelona are willing to negotiate that price down. And the club think that for around 10 to 15 million euros, they can permanently offload Serginho Dest to the Serie A club. Now, Barcelona also consider, if they can accomplish this, that it would be a good business deal. Because after all, they would be making around 10 to 15 million euros. And they would be removing Serginho Dest's salary off their books, which is, after all, that's Barcelona's goal, to reduce their wage bill as much as possible so they can make new signings in the summer transfer market. So that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give me a like. Also, I would like to invite all of you to please leave a comment down below, giving me all your thoughts and opinions about all the news that I share with you. And finally, I would like to invite all of you to please subscribe to the channel so you can stay current on all the latest news in regards to our beloved club, FC Barcelona. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video, and as always, Pisca Barça.